My name is Edward, and 3 years ago, I died for 12 minutes. What Jesus showed me in those 12 minutes will shake you to your core. I was a devoted Christian, a worship leader at my church for 8 years. I thought I knew everything about salvation, but I was so wrong.
Let me take you back to March 15th, 2021. I was 42 years old, leading one of the fastest growing churches in Texas. We had 3,000 members, a beautiful building, and I was speaking at conferences across the country. But that morning, I woke up with chest pains. Being the stubborn man I was, I ignored them. I had a sermon to preach about God's grace, ironically enough. During the service, while I was preaching about how once saved, always saved, the pain hit me like a freight train. I collapsed right there at the pulpit, in front of my entire congregation. The paramedics worked on me for 23 minutes. My heart stopped for 7 of those minutes. 7 minutes that changed everything I believed about Christianity. The moment my heart stopped, I wasn't in my body anymore. I found myself in complete darkness, but it wasn't scary. It was peaceful. Then suddenly, there was this brilliant light approaching me. But here's what shocked me. It wasn't the typical tunnel of light you hear about. Instead, I was standing in what looked like a courtroom. Ancient, magnificent, but definitely a courtroom. And there he was, Jesus. But he wasn't the gentle, smiling Jesus from Sunday school pictures. His eyes, they burned with both infinite love and absolute justice. When he spoke, his voice shook my very soul. Edward, you've been teaching my people, but you've been teaching them to sin against me every single day. I was confused. Lord, I've preached the gospel faithfully. I've told them about your sacrifice, about grace, about... He held up his hand, and I fell silent.
Come with me, Jesus said, and suddenly we were looking down at Earth, but not like Google Earth. We could see into people's hearts, into their daily lives, into their prayers. Look, he commanded, and I saw millions of Christians around the world, in their churches, in their homes, at their jobs. They were praying, reading their Bibles, serving in ministries. These are good people, Lord, I said. They love you. Look closer, Edward. Then I saw it. In their prayers, in their Bible reading, in their service, there was something missing, something crucial. They pray to me, Jesus explained, but they pray with expectation of reward. They serve me, but they serve for recognition. They read my word, but they read it to feel good about themselves, not to be transformed by it. I watched in horror as I saw Christian after Christian living their faith like it was a transaction. Good deeds in, blessings out. Prayer in, answered requests out. Service in, status out. But Lord, I protested, isn't that just human nature? His expression grew stern. Edward, this is the sin I'm talking about. It's not murder, it's not adultery, it's not theft. It's conditional love. Every hour, thousands of my followers die and come before my throne. They expect to enter heaven because they believed in me, because they did good works, because they followed the rules. But their love for me was conditional. They loved me because of what I could do for them, not because of who I am. They served me because it made them feel righteous, not because they truly surrendered their hearts to me.
I watched as scene after scene unfolded. Christians who tithed because they expected financial blessings. Christians who served in soup kitchens because it made them feel holy. Christians who prayed because they needed something, not because they wanted relationship. Their faith, Jesus said sadly, was all about them, not about me. The weight of this revelation crushed me. I thought about my own ministry, my own prayers, my own motivations. How often had I preached about what God could do for people rather than calling them to lose themselves completely in Him? This is why the path is narrow, Edward. Not because I make it difficult, but because so few are willing to love me without conditions, to follow me without rewards, to surrender everything without expecting anything back. But Lord, I asked, how can people know if their love is conditional? Jesus looked at me with those burning eyes. Ask them this: if I never answered another prayer, if I never blessed them again, if following me only brought suffering and loss, would they still choose me? Ask them, do they love me more when life is good? Do they doubt my goodness when things go wrong? Do they serve me harder when they want something? Do they get angry when I don't respond the way they expect? Edward, unconditional love means loving me in the darkness just as much as in the light. It means serving me when no one is watching. It means choosing my will even when it costs them everything they want. I realized with horror that I had been teaching people to love God conditionally for 15 years. I had made Christianity about benefits, not about surrender.
You have to go back, Jesus said. You have to warn them. The harvest is great, but the workers who truly understand unconditional love are few. But Lord, who will believe me? This goes against everything most churches teach today. Edward, many are called, but few are chosen. Not because I don't choose them, but because few are willing to be chosen unconditionally. Those who have ears to hear will hear. Suddenly, I felt this incredible pulling sensation, and I was back in my body. The paramedics were shouting, "We've got him back!" But I wasn't the same Edward who collapsed on that pulpit. Everything had changed. Here's what I want you to do right now. Ask yourself, if God never gave me another blessing, if He never answered another prayer, if following Jesus only brought me hardship, would I still choose Him? If you hesitated even for a second, you need to examine your relationship with God. Because conditional love isn't love at all, it's transaction. Jesus doesn't want your bargaining, He wants your heart completely, unconditionally. The question isn't whether you're saved. The question is, do you love Him because of who He is or because of what He does for you?